All right, Ian joining us here on the broadcast, and Ian coming back from this. After a successful road trip in the Midwest, taking home 6 points, the Reno 1868 Football Club returns home for a wild showdown with San Antonio. It's a matchup of the league's top offense against the league's top defense tonight in the biggest little city. Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside Greater Nevada Field in downtown Reno alongside my broadcast partner, Colin Tabor. I'm Alex Margulies. Now, Colin, this is a game a lot of people have really been looking forward to. You've got two of the top teams in the Western Conference, and anytime you get a chance to match up these kind of teams where you've got the best offense against the best defense, certainly you're going to catch a lot of attention.
Yeah, I think this game tonight will be a case of an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. We have Reno 1868 with 49 goals this season, by far on top of the league for goals scored. And then San Antonio FC with just 11 goals allowed, which is a phenomenal record. Yeah,
pretty amazing stuff. And certainly for Reno 1868, a lot on the line for them here tonight. A win will help keep them in the top 4 in the Western Conference, which would keep them in line with hosting a playoff game here in their inaugural season. Reno also looking for a little bit of revenge. This is a team that did not play well in San Antonio earlier this season, back on April the 15th. But Colin, it really feels like the team that lost to San Antonio 4-0 all those months ago, a very different team than what San Antonio is going to face here tonight.
Yeah, I think Reno 1868 went through some growing pains at the beginning of the season. Whole new team. Guys weren't quite gelling yet, but I think it's a much different story now. I think they really click. And I think that will be a nice time for some revenge on San Antonio after that disappointing loss in the beginning of the season.
Reno with 9 wins and just 2 losses, along with 5 draws since that matchup against San Antonio back in April. Earlier this week, I had a chance to catch up with the head coach, Ian Russell, to try to get a little bit of the pulse of the team, talk about that recent road trip and getting set for this action tonight against San Antonio. Let's check it out. All right, Ian joining us here on the broadcast, and Ian coming back from this road trip, able to get 2 out of 3. I imagine you're happy to come away with 6 points.
Yeah, the goal was to try to get 6 points. Even 4 would have been pretty good. Get a win and a tie on the road's good, but to get 6 is really good for our team.
That first game against Swope Park, they were red hot, 6 in a row. Tulsa had played well going in. To go on the road and not only get 6 points, but you're doing it against some really quality teams and doing it in their buildings.
Yeah, I think the Swope Park game gave us a lot of confidence because we came out right out of the gate, got a goal. Hop got a goal a minute into the game, and we should have actually been up 2 or 3-0 in that first 15 minutes. Ended up getting the goal right before halftime, and closed out the game with a 4-1 win, which, great start for our road trip.
Coming up later at halftime, we're spending some time talking to Luis Felipe. He's a guy that you guys signed in the middle of the season. How has he impacted the team?
He's done really well. Young player. I think he's 20, 21, but really physically built well. 6'2", solid, really good feet. He's Brazilian, so a lot of the players that come from Brazil they're very technical, and he's that. But he also is a very good tackler of the ball. Probably our best tackler on the team, and wins a lot of balls for us. And he's getting goals and assists where I didn't know that was a big part of his game, but I think he's kind of really blossomed here. He's done really well.
Like some other guys, we've seen him kind of in a lot of different positions. Maybe a holding mid. We've seen him on the outside. Mm-hmm. Where do you see his best fit moving forward as a player?
Yeah, I think his best position, I think if you're in a 4-4-2, I think you call it a number 6, kind of a holding midfielder. He can play the 8 as well, which is more of a box-to-box, or where he's playing right now in the diamond, kind of tucked inside. I think any of those 3 positions he can really excel at, and I think he's doing that.
All right, so you're taking on San Antonio. How excited is this team to get an opportunity to play a caliber club like this, and a team that you guys didn't fare so well against on the road earlier this year?
Yeah, we struggled against them early on. It was 4-0, and it was every bit the score was true. Like, it wasn't one of those games where you go and say, hey, man, maybe it wasn't 4-0. They were better than us, and I think the guys are pretty excited to get a good test against them.
I know one of the exciting angles of this match, you've got the best scoring team in the league against the best defensive team. How do you see that kind of shaking out?
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen, but I mean, the way we can score goals, I think we're going to put them under a lot of pressure. And, you know, they have two really good center backs that are really organized. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully the attack wins out.
All right, looking forward to it. Good catching up with you, and good
Thanks,
to have
Alex.
you guys back home after that long trip.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll be right back. Fields here in downtown Reno, getting set for a big United Soccer League showdown between Reno 1868 and San Antonio. You see the records there. Reno coming in 9, 5, and 6. That puts them with 33 points and in fourth place in the Western Conference. San Antonio, you see that they've only lost one time this year, and this is a club in second right now with 41 points. Both teams coming out onto the fields. And we'll have a chance to take a look at our key players of the match as well as our starting lineups. And in just a couple of minutes, we'll have the national anthem here first for you. And Colin, really a match we've been looking forward to now since April. I mean, since that game on April the 15th, Reno off to that rocky start in their first couple of matches. But especially as the last 2 months have gone on, this Reno 1868 team has been impressive, and they've shown that they might be one of the best teams in the Western Conference. They just went on the road to Swope Park, who had won 6 straight, and that was the start of their 3-game road trip, and they throttled that club 4-1.
Yeah, excellent performance against Swope Park Rangers, particularly from Antoine Opena, who I was really impressed with in that game. And that trip to the Midwest, 6 points out of 9, is a very good return.
Yeah, Reno beating Tulsa and Swope Park, a loss to Oklahoma City in the middle. That was marred by some controversy. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. For now, we'll pause for tonight's national anthem.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave, wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right,
Thank you,
beautiful
Yvette.
performance
Don't
of
forget to head
tonight's
upstairs.
national anthem. We're just moments away from kickoff here tonight between two of the top teams in the Western Conference as Reno welcomes San Antonio for the first time this season. All right, Colin, let's take a look at tonight's key players of the match. We talked about this offense versus defensive showdown. We'll begin with San Antonio, and they've got the best goalkeeper in the circuit, Diego Restrepo, born in Venezuela, the 29-year-old from West Palm Beach, and he is tied for first in the USL with 8 clean sheets this year. This guy has been fantastic as part of the San Antonio defensive effort.
Yeah, Diego Restrepo really leads that back line. He's a great goalkeeper, great shot stopper, also very good with his feet as well. He's comfortable in possession, and they know they can pass it back to him and know he can deal with it.
On the flip side, he'll be most concerned at the top by Reno's Dane Kelly, tied for the league lead in the USL with 15 goals. He now has 64 over his career, the all-time leading scorer, but he is having his best year in the USL, a chance for the Golden Boot this year.
Yeah, Dane Kelly with 15 goals this season. He's been on fire, especially here at Greater Nevada Field where he thrives. This Battleborn Brigade really gets behind him, and he's able to score a lot of goals here.
All right, let's take a look at tonight's starting 11. First for San Antonio. A couple surprising changes to their lineup here tonight without their usual captain, Michael Reed, but a talented San Antonio team, a club in their second season. And as I mentioned earlier, they've only lost once this year.
Yeah, this San Antonio team, they really know how to defend. Expect Pekka and Ojong to do a lot of hard work in the midfield along with Rafa Castillo. And expect them to try and counterattack through Billy Forbes and Chris Tierpak.
On the other side for Reno, a lot of continuity right now for Ian Russell's club. Lindo Mafeka back from San Jose. You've got Opano and Kelly at the top, and those two have been a dangerous combo, combining for 23 of Reno's 49 goals this year. And then in the back, Matt Bersano, who has recorded 6 clean sheets of his own. He returns in the goal. Our coaches in tonight's matchup for San Antonio, he's been here for both of the 2 seasons. Darren Powell led the team last year to a 10, 12, and 8 mark. Much better so far here in his second campaign. And on the other side of the field, it's Ian Russell for Reno 1868, who really has put forth the type of effort that could garner him as Coach of the Year honors come to the end of the season.
Yeah, I think both managers have been very impressive this season. They've both put together teams that are really a sum of its parts rather than relying on individual talent. They know how to play together and they know how to win games. So this should be a good matchup between Darren Powell and Ian Russell here.
The refs for tonight's matchup, Malik Badawi is our head ref, assisted by Adam Sanchez and Matthew Sanchez, and Rafaela Gaeta is on the sideline. So we are underway here tonight in downtown Reno as 1868 takes on San Antonio. Reno in the blue uniforms, an early turnover. Dane Kelly takes a right-footed shot, and Restrepo up to the challenge, diving towards the closest post. And Reno a shot on goal in the first 30 seconds.
And right away we see what Matt LaGrassa, the holding mid for Reno 1868, does for this team. He wins the ball right away and initiates that counterattack.
Here's Restrepo, has only allowed 8 goals in 15 starts this year. There's LaGrassa again getting aggressive, knocks down a midfielder, and temporarily had the ball for Reno as Lindo Mafeka is able to get it back from Billy Forbes.
And Billy Forbes is someone that Reno are going to want to look out for. He gave them a lot of trouble earlier in the season. He's someone he's quick, he's strong, he's good on the ball, and he'll look to counterattack.
Number 20 again, LaGrassa. You'll see him in the middle of the field, a guy that doesn't necessarily get a lot of attention. I was talking to Ian Russell about LaGrassa, though, and he's one of those guys that just always has a nose for the football. And to me, it seems like this Reno team is always better when he's on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. He has such an engine. He's everywhere, constantly breaking up play, constantly being an outlet for the pass. He really makes this Reno team tick.
Victor Ariajo, for San Antonio. Knocked down, but stayed in possession for the visitors here tonight. Ariajo making his first start of the season. He had only played in 38 minutes before tonight. Here's Nick von Niederhausen trying to center it for Antoine Opano, but can't quite get it there.
Yeah, and I think Nick von Niederhausen is going to have a lot of space on this right side. Billy Forbes, he tends to cheat a little bit up the field. He doesn't track back to defend because he wants to counterattack. So Nick von Niederhausen is going to look to exploit that space left in behind.
And we were talking before the broadcast, kind of opposing styles here tonight. You've got a San Antonio team that really wants to keep things on the wings, and Reno in their diamond, they want to keep the ball in the middle of the field.
Yeah, definitely. The feature of this diamond is there's a lot of central players, which San Antonio, they're playing pretty centrally too. They'll want to force it out wide. They'll want to make sure they get the ball out wide, and if they win it, they're going to hit Tier Packer Billy Forbes there on the counterattack. Two very quick players who can carry the ball upfield. And try to exploit those higher fullbacks that Reno tend to push up, like Brent Richards and Nick von Niederhausen.
Jimmy Ockford wearing the captain's band once again here tonight. One of Reno's 2 center backs has been tremendous on this defense this year. You know, Reno's offense gets so much notoriety, but at times the defense has also been superb this season in Ian Russell's first season.
Yeah, it really has. Once they started clicking and they started scoring goals, they stopped conceding so many as well. I mean, this Reno team, they're good on both sides. They're good on both sides of the ball. They can attack well and they can defend well.
Luis Felipe taking a shot at goal, goes wide of Restrepo, and a goal kick coming up. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields. And what a beautiful night it is here in downtown Reno. Hard to believe it is already August.
It is hard to believe. This summer's flown by.
Down on the sideline for Cochran. Can't keep it in play. Now whistle blown as Kelly's able to get to it.
I think it's a little bit of a soft foul, and I think Reno would prefer to just have the ball for advantage anyway, so it's all right, though. Reno can look to try and find someone's head on this set piece. Chris Weehan has a very good delivery. He can really make it dip and curve with some pace, which is a difficult skill to have.
Weehan named the midseason Rookie of the Year for the USL. He has been outstanding coming out of college play at New Mexico, went undrafted, and he has been turning a lot of heads this season. Weehan lets it go. Headed by Ockford. Headed out of trouble by San Antonio, and now a whistle blown. Mark Ojong able to get it out of harm's way. And a goal kick coming up again for Restrepo.
Yeah, Chris Weehan tries to find Jimmy Ockford on that back post, who tries to head it back into play for somebody else. What tends to happen those far post balls is defenders will get caught watching the ball and they'll forget about what's in the middle, but it didn't work out there for Reno.
And I know talking before the game, you were really concerned about San Antonio's counterattack, and that's really where they're going to try and spring a lot of their offense. So while Reno is pushing forward, they've got to be very careful to get back quickly on defense as well.
Yeah, definitely. If they do lose it, they need to make sure that they keep the ball in that half, which I think is something that Reno does very well. When they lose the ball in the opposition half, they all pressure whoever won the ball back, and they make sure that they can't get out of there and prevent the counterattacks, because they are prone to giving up counterattacks with how many numbers they push forward. So it's something they're going to have to watch out for, especially with the way San Antonio play, and especially the speed of Billy Forbes.
Good challenge there from Ockford near midfield, and hit out of bounds. And a throw in now coming for Nick von Niederhauser, the 27-year-old from Switzerland. Played professionally in his home country before coming over to the United States. Missed a good chunk of the season with an injury, and at the start of the season, von Niederhauser, and he was the captain of this club coming out of the preseason.
Yeah, he was, and he missed a good portion of the season with a hamstring injury, so it's good to see him back in this lineup. I think with his experience, I think he's a good option to have.
Whistle blown there as Chris Turpak was taken down. And a set piece coming up here in the 7th minute for San Antonio, close to Reno's goal. Turpak scored the only goal in San Antonio's last game, a draw against Orange County. A 1-1 final, but Turpak 5 goals on the season, the Texas native.
Chris Turpak, he's someone who likes to make those diagonal runs from the wing and get on the end of crosses. He's really good in the air for a winger, and expect if the ball goes on the left side, expect for him to make a late far post run diagonally across the box.
Rafa Castillo along with Victor Araujo. Castillo too high that time. The 37-year-old is the most experienced player on this San Antonio club. A lot of pro time in Colombia, Venezuela. Also played with the former San Antonio Scorpions of the NASL, which eventually helped lead to San Antonio FC landing in the USL last year.
Yeah, I would say that Rafa Castillo is the engine of this San Antonio team. He covers so much ground, which is a really impressive thing for a 37-year-old. He's everywhere on the field. He can cover if one of the wingers aren't tracking back enough. He can press up high. He can win the ball in front of the defenders. He covers the whole field.
Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into the USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Throw in from von Niederhauser, headed away by McCarthy. It's also there as it's Ockford and Araujo going at it. And it looks like McCarthy, who dove for that ball and headed it back towards the midfield, he's slow to get up along with Billy Forbes. And it looks like you can see there McCarthy just collides with his own man. Looks like he put his head right into the knee of Forbes.
Yeah, unfortunate for San Antonio there. McCarthy has a good clearance, but his head goes right into Billy Forbes' knee, and he'll be a little dazed after that.
Forbes, a dangerous striker for the San Antonio club. 7 goals on the season. He leads this San Antonio team, which doesn't score a ton of goals. Tied for 12th. They've got 30, but again, they only allow 11 this year, and that's by far the best in the USL. Pretty remarkable. 11 goals allowed, Colin. The second least team is Tampa, and they've allowed 18. That's how big of a disparity their numbers and just how good this defense has been this year.
11 goals allowed in 21 or 22 games is simply incredible. That's so many clean sheets, and it shows why Restrepo is leading the league in clean sheets. It's really a testament to how well this team defends together.
It's a San Antonio team that has drawn more than anybody in this circuit. They're happy to play to those one-point finishes as long as they don't come away with an L. They've only done that once, but at their last 6 matches, just 1 win to go along with 5 draws. And certainly on the road here tonight in Reno. I expect them to be pretty conservative, or how do you think they're going to try and attack this one?
I think they'll tend to be pretty conservative with the way Reno's offense is and being away from home in this altitude. It's worth noting that San Antonio's only loss this season was in Colorado Springs. So the altitude might play a part for San Antonio here.
Looks like Mafek is able to keep it in play. Castillo trying to clear it, and he'll get it off of Von Niederhauser to give Restrepo a chance to reset things from the goal. That's a good point, and that's something Ian Russell talks a lot about with opposing teams and trying to make this place a fortress is, look, they're going to have to come in here. They're going to have to play our style, which is going to be fast and aggressive, and they're going to have to deal with the altitude.
Well, San Antonio is a pretty fast and aggressive team themselves, so they'll be able to cover that part, but the altitude is tough for any team here, except for maybe Colorado Springs, which is the only team higher altitude than Reno. But it's an interesting matchup, and I think San Antonio will try to play a little more conservatively than they usually tend to.
Here they come on the counterattack. Reno trying to retreat. Chance there for Forbes. Or excuse me, that was Ojong. And Bersano will come up and grab it.
And that's an excellent counterattack there from San Antonio. Able to spring Araujo out in the corner, and Tupek makes a great underlapping run diagonally to fill in that space in the center. I think his diagonal runs can be very dangerous, and that's something that Reno will be wary of.
Restrepo getting it out to Castillo. Mafeka trying to harass him a little bit. Sends it back to Cochran. Broadcast tonight brought to you by Coors Light. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Stolen away again by Matt LaGrassa. Here comes Dane Kelly. Broken up in the box. Good defense there by Noonan. Kelly thought he had it back, but they're going to say foul committed, and the other way it'll go.
Yeah, Dane Kelly just holds on to it a little too long there and dribbles into trouble. He'll want to look to play the ball a little bit quicker because he's not going to be able to get many chances to shoot, because the way the San Antonio back four defense, they defend really deep, and they look to block anything that comes their way. So he's going to have to get past that by playing the ball quickly, quick little 1-2s around him, and then he'll get his chance to get a clean strike through on goal.
Rafa Castillo gives it up to Ojong. Turnover there. Trying to find Opano without getting him off sides. Kelly sends it wide. Opano back into the box. Weehan and Kelly there. I think Restrepo not happy with his defense, as that was a pretty good opportunity there for Reno. Just couldn't quite line it up.
Yeah, really poor giveaway from Ojong there. Under really no pressure. Easy back pass that he gives right to Dane Kelly. Dane Kelly's ball to Opano just goes a little too wide. Opano puts a good ball in, but Dane Kelly just can't get past his man there.
Almost 15 minutes down here tonight in downtown Reno. No score between 1868 and San Antonio. Nice little touch there from Kelly. Gets it up to Opano. Getting himself into the box. Reno slowing it down now as Mafeka back and forth to LaGrassa. Now wide to Von Niederhausen. Ojong up to Pekka. Here's Weehan to come take it away. Reno doing a pretty good job, I think, controlling possession here in these opening minutes.
Oh, and that's an excellent ball there from Luis Felipe Fernandez, but Brent Richards misjudges it there. Yeah, it looks like San Antonio's center midfielders are having trouble possessing the ball a little bit. When they get the ball out wide, they can do some damage, but it looks like their midfielders just aren't quite connecting. It's still early in the game, though, and that could come.
Here's Turpak. Another counter opportunity for San Antonio. Turpak couldn't quite line it up. He had that one teed up for him, and he slipped as he tried to put it on goal. And here comes Chris Weehan the other way.
Yeah, and that was an excellent connection between Tirpak and Araujo. Araujo's recognizing that space out wide when Tirpak comes in, and they're able to combine out wide before one of them comes into the middle.
Reno with numbers again. Here's Mafeka. Luis Felipe. Good job there, working around a couple bodies. Back out to Nick Von Niederhausen. Tries to curl it over towards Kelly, and Restrepo will step up and get it out to Pekka.
Yeah, Restrepo reads that really well. It's a good curling ball in from Nick Von Niederhausen, but Restrepo deals with it easily.
Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, you can visit NikeSoccer.com. Couple important finals so far in the Western Conference. Swope Park and Orange County fighting to a 1-run draw tonight. Reno trying to catch up with Swope Park in the Western Conference standings. As well, Reno started the day tied for fourth with Colorado Springs. They were defeated by Real Monarchs 2-0 as they continue to be the absolute juggernaut of this entire USL. RSL has been truly phenomenal this season.
Yeah, Real Monarchs led by the talismanic Sebastian Velasquez, who I think is the best player in USL. Strange he wasn't in the top 4 nominations for midseason MVP, because I think he's far and above the best player in this league. But that Real Monarchs team has been incredible this season.
51 points now. That's a 9-point advantage on San Antonio for second. Swope Park, they'll get 1 point to go up to 40. And then there's Reno with 33. So a 7-point difference between fourth and third. As LaGrassa comes up. Quick touch. Opano was able to get it past the keeper, but couldn't straighten it out. Another good chance for Reno here inside the first 20 minutes.
And another poor giveaway from San Antonio. Really strange of them, some of the passes they're hitting, because this is the one time that they're not condensed in the back line. When they play the ball in their own half, they spread the field, they play it slowly. So if they give the ball away in Reno counter, guys like Opano and Dan Kelly can get through. And Opano was really close to finding the back of the net there.
Restrepo will let his guys get in position, then he booms it away. Tirpak working against Weehan, able to get around him.
Excellent skill there from Tirpak.
Gets it to Forbes. Now wide for Cochran coming up from the back. Over to Pekka. Mafeka knocked down, won't get a whistle though. And stolen away by LaGrassa and Weehan. Trying to get it up to Opano, but into the hands of San Antonio. They'll send it right back to Restrepo, who you mentioned is really good at his passing ability from the goal, in addition to the fact that he doesn't allow very many goals.
Yeah, he's really comfortable with his feet. I saw a stat, passes in his own half was about 96%, which, I mean, for a goalkeeper, if you're passing in your own half, you better be connecting, but that's still a very good percentage.
Dangerous spot there. Billy Forbes able to get a clean shot in front of Matt Bersano. He's up to the challenge, though, and keeps this a scoreless contest. This match tonight brought to you by Coors Light. The bigger the mountain, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. McCarthy, you can see he's got that nose plugged up after diving into the knee of Forbes earlier in this half. I don't think a bloody nose is what you want to be dealing with at altitude.
No. Especially one inflicted by your own player.
LaGrassa, aggressive as always, trying to get that one, couldn't quite get to it, as Ojong was able to send it wide. Good pass there to Tierpak. Into the box. Trying to find Forbes, and Bersano able to beat him to it.
I'm loving Tierpak this game. His runs have been phenomenal, and then he's able to spot the right pass. A lot of players, when they get into that end line, they would have just whipped it in and hoped for the best. But he saw the trailing run, was able to cut it back, and they were able to find Billy Forbes. So Billy Forbes took a heavy touch there.
Tierpak, a great offseason sign for San Antonio. He played last year in Swope Park with Dane Kelly, and those two were a dangerous combination. Tierpak 7 goals, along with Kelly's 12. And the Texas native returning home to play for San Antonio, and I imagine picking him up is a big reason why they've been able to do what they've done this year. Opano taken down by Abiaga, and that's going to draw a whistle and maybe a card.
That's an excellent run there from Opano. The way Reno are trying to score is they're trying to get behind that back line before they can reset. They win the ball and then spring Opano and Dane Kelly quickly. They'll be able to get behind and either get through on goal or earn a foul like this.
Couldn't tell if the head ref tonight, and he did give the yellow card to Ibiaga. That's Malin Badawi, our head ref, so the yellow does go. And I think it was deserved, considering Opano was really making a run there, and Ibiaga knocking him down to prevent a possible chance at a shot on goal there.
Yeah, he tries to come across the side of him, but definitely catches Opano, and I agree with the yellow card there.
So a spot here in the 24th. Chris Weehan tied for first in the USL with 8 assists this season. Approaching it with his right foot. Goes for the far post, off the fingertips of Restrepo, and that's going to bring our first corner kick of the night.
Yeah, that's a tricky ball for a goalkeeper to handle, because they're thinking if it gets a touch, and I go for the cross, I'm beat. But if I leave it, it could be going into that far post there for a goal. Always tricky to deal with, but Restrepo does well.
So that'll send Weehan to the corner. Deflected and saved for Mal Felipe, and it's in! Luis Felipe, and Reno strikes first. It's 1-0.
After the goal line scramble, an excellent initial save there from Diego Restrepo. Luis Felipe is able to get something on it and put away his 4th goal of the season. Well done, and Reno are up here at Greater Nevada Field.
Just an all-out melee in front of the goal. It looked like it was deflected first by Richards, and then it Cochran was trying to clear it, and he kicked it right off of his own man, and Felipe, who just did not give up there, able to bury it in the back of the net. And what a big early swing and momentum for Reno here tonight.
And that was an excellent ball there from Chris Weehan. That low-driven ball, San Antonio did not see it coming, and Brent Richards was able to get really good contact on it to create that goal line scramble there.
Just the 12th goal allowed by San Antonio this season in their 21st match. Luis Felipe Fernandez, who is signed in the midseason, has really come on strong, especially these last couple of games for Reno 1868.
Definitely. He was a great addition to this team. He's not only been getting on some goals, but he's a very good defensive player. He holds the ball well. He can break up play. He's strong. He can find the pass. He's been a very good player here for this Reno 1868 team.
We'll hear from Luis Felipe at halftime of tonight's broadcast. I had a chance to chat with him earlier this week, the player of Brazilian descent. And I asked him, you know, he's got 4 names, basically. Luis Felipe Fernandez Rodriguez. And I asked him, being from Brazil, doesn't he just kind of have to go to one name at this point? Like you see on the other side of the field with Pekka, it's very common for Brazilian footballers to go just to one name.
Yeah, Luis Felipe Fernandez Rodriguez is actually a pretty short name for Brazilian standards. That's why they all have nicknames. Even the Prime Minister was called Dilma. That shows that it's a pretty familiar place where everyone calls each other by their nicknames.
I asked him if he was going to have just one name. He said it would just be Luis. I was thinking maybe you'd go with Felipe. I don't know. I just kind of had a hunch, but I was wrong. You can catch that full interview with Luis coming up at the end of the first 45 minutes. Here's Castillo sending it wide. Good challenge there from Morel, allowing Mafeka to come up and keep it in Reno's possession. Tell you what, I feel like Reno, through this first 28 minutes, playing some really solid play to start things off against this San Antonio club.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. They're trying to break early before San Antonio can get into that defensive shape, and they've had a couple really dangerous set pieces, something that San Antonio hasn't really conceded many of. So it shows the work they've put in the training ground for corners and other set pieces.
Here's Tierpak again, back to Castillo. Over to Pekka. And it looks like San Antonio will have their first corner kick of the night. Deflected away by Brent Richards. And it's going to be the veteran Castillo going to the corner.
Yeah, San Antonio are going to want to reply with a set piece of their own. Castillo with that magical left foot's going to try and find someone like McCarthy or Ibiaga.
Too far, and Ibiaga can't get to it. A throw-in coming for Reno 1868. Fans of USL, one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date on all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. Big news these last couple weeks since we last had a home broadcast. 2 new teams added for next year and a couple of regional rivals. Las Vegas announced yesterday they will be adding a team for 2018, and just a couple weeks ago, Fresno also announcing they will be in the fold. So the game of soccer continues to grow, and the USL continues to grow its footprint across the U.S., especially in this western region.
Yeah, definitely. And two very close rivals. Like you said, it'll be interesting to have teams that close where they can maybe bring away support over here and really get a good battle between the fans as well as on the field.
I know I saw during the press conference yesterday that the ownership of that Vegas team, they were calling for a match with Reno out of the gates. They want to play Reno 1868 in the opener, and it sounded like USL President Jake Edwards was willing to oblige that request.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun Nevada rivalry there.
Richards able to head it out of trouble. Here's Pekka, though, to keep it for San Antonio. Now Castillo.
In 1868, we'll be hoping that the Las Vegas franchise will have their own growing pains to start off with. Better to get an expansion team early rather than later, as Reno have shown this season.
A little miscommunication there from Wehan and Opano. Reno had a nice little run there, and Chris thought Antoine was going to go up top, but he went the other way, and instead of a good chance for 1868, it goes out of play, and a turnover gives it back to San Antonio. Felipe coming up from behind, stealing it from Forbes. Over to LaGrassa, now Wehan.
Yeah, I think Reno's doing a good job not giving Billy Forbes any space to run with the ball. When he gets it, they're closing him down really quickly, and he doesn't know what to do. They're winning the ball off of him pretty easily tonight.
Saw some frustration there from Von Niederhauser, and as he had Opano in front of the goal, but that pass too wide, and again, a goal kick coming up for Diego Restrepo. Broadcast tonight brought to you by Coors Light. What would we be without our mountains? Without the things that push us further and call us higher. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Greater beer, great responsibility. Here comes Lindo Mafeka. Trying to buzz through the San Antonio defense. Meets a wall, though, as McCarthy eventually gets to him. But a Reno man down by midfield has our head ref running out to take a look, and it's Jordan Morel.
And that does not look good. Does not look good at all. Morel with the header. What happened was off screen, so we're not quite sure if he landed awkwardly on it or got ahead from one of the San Antonio players. But Jordan Morel's been a rock in that Reno 1868 defense, and no one would like to see him down right now.
Steve Patera coming out to help out Jordan, get him back up to his feet. Here's a look at that in replay, and you see Morel looked like he kind of whiplashed the neck a little bit. You saw the header and then immediately grabs the back of his neck.
Yeah, that was a strange one, which makes it all the more worrying. Steve Patera, the trainer, will be hoping that there's no signs of concussion so he can come back onto the field.
Jordan appears to be in pretty good spirits. Always good when you see a situation like that and a player has a big smile on his face.
Yeah, the moment you see that smile crack, then you know he's going to be okay. The way Steve Patera rushed out there, it was easy to fear for the worst.
Reno trying to get it to Dane Kelly. Couldn't quite corral that ball as it was tapped out of bounds. Pekka being harassed by Mafeka. Restrepo has it briefly intercepted by LaGrassa, but San Antonio able to get it back. Ojong slipped, got back up to his feet. Another shot on goal, this time deflected and over the top of the net. And Bersano will take his time before kicking it back into play. Game tonight brought to you by Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields. Glad to have you aboard for this Western Conference showdown between Reno and San Antonio. And it's the expansion club, Reno 1868, with a 1-0 advantage as we approach the final 10 minutes of regulation here in the first half. Well, Niederhausen throws it in for LaGrassa. Morel looks like he's doing just fine. Maybe not.
Just a little slip there.
Guys are slipping all over the place.
It's strange it's not in the infield where you normally expect someone to slip. It's out in the regular pitch.
Just a few more weeks that Reno has to share this facility. Of course, a two-sport facility, as you can tell if you haven't watched a game in Reno. They share them with the AAA affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And his grounds crew, led by Rich Hill, does a fantastic job to preserve the quality for both sides. It's an experiment that has taken place in a couple facilities across the USL and expect to continue as the USL grows. In fact, the two teams we talked about, Fresno and Las Vegas, also, at least for the start of their professional careers in the USL, will also play in a baseball-first facility.
Yeah, they'll be sharing it with the Las Vegas 51s, which are the AAA affiliate of the New York Mets. But there's talks of the 51s moving over to the suburbs of Summerlin in Las Vegas, which would mean that the Las Vegas USL team get that downtown stadium all to themselves. But if you ask me, the Reno grounds crew is the best in the league of the ones who do the conversion from baseball to soccer. I think they've really figured it out. And after seeing other fields, I think they're the best at it.
Another player down here in the 37th minute, it's Castillo. You know, one of the interesting things about the grass, people always ask, well, what do they do with it? And actually, after every single 1868 home game, if there is baseball to follow, so like after tonight, they're going to have baseball next before soccer. So take another look there. Hard collision between Luis Felipe and Rafa Castillo. They'll actually give the grass away. Anyone who's here tomorrow morning, grab a truck and come get some grass. I've actually had some of my good friends come and get truckloads of grass every week, and they have completely landscaped their yards with some fantastic locally grown grass from Fallon. Or is it Fallon or Fernley? I can't remember. Wherever the farm is out there, but taking the grass right here from Greater Nevada Field and planting it in their front yard. How cool is that?
Yeah, if you're looking to redo your backyard or do a little landscaping, come on down after the game because Greater Nevada Field will have plenty of it.
Plenty to give away as Castillo finally back up to his feet. Check out that collision again. Felipe getting his full body into Castillo. Oh, boy. Talk about nosebleeds. Goodness.
That looks bad there.
Well, we already saw McCarthy diving into the leg of his teammate Billy Forbes, which started a nosebleed earlier in this half. And Castillo looking shaken up after a hard collision with Reno's Luis Felipe Fernandez. Fans, want to remind you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC. That's channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. So San Antonio will have to play a man down as Castillo continues to be worked on behind San Antonio's bench.
Yeah, and even if he's cleared to play, he's going to have to change both his shorts and shirt because they are covered in blood. So
here's Billy Forbes making a run, tries to put it in with his left foot, and an easy save for Bersano. Good ball there from Weehan, gets it up to Kelly. Kelly sets up, trying to put it on with his right foot, but couldn't control it. It goes too high of goal.
Yeah, he just tries to curl it in that that upper right-hand post, but catches it all wrong. Good run there from Dane Kelly, though.
LaGrassa steps up, wins another ball. Reno looking to set something up here. Again, they are outnumbering San Antonio. Openo trying to get it wide for Von Niederhauser, and a good job by Forbes to slide, kick that one out of play. And it'll be close to a corner. Let's take a look again here. There's Forbes, and it will be a Reno corner kick as it just barely went to that side of the post. Maxi Rodriguez checking in for Rafa Castillo. So he is forced to be subbed out. Weehan's kick. Punched in the air by Restrepo. And it looks like he might have gotten dinged up on that one. Restrepo is seemingly in agonizing pain now, clutching his right forearm.
Yeah, Restrepo gets caught in no man's land going for a ball he can't reach, and it looks like the head of Jordan Morel bends his wrist back. Looks like it's a injury on his right wrist or forearm.
Well, this has not been a good first half for San Antonio. They're down 1-0, and they have been getting beat up. First McCarthy, then Castillo, who was forced out, and now the goalkeeper, Restrepo. Reno continues to push it. Openo trying to get in there. And knocked out of play.
Yeah, and that's where Openo's most dangerous. The San Antonio defenders were careful not to make a challenge there because they know how good Openo is at just getting his foot in front of the challenge, anticipating it, and earning that penalty.
Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. I think Diego Restrepo and the rest of the San Antonio team is looking forward to a halftime whistle.
Yeah, they're going to want to regroup here because they're usually the ones that are used to battering teams physically, and they're getting beat up out there, which they're unaccustomed to.
And really, it feels like this first 45 minutes, Reno really controlled the tempo.
Definitely. San Antonio have had their chances. I think Tierpak has had a really good half, even though he's faded the last 20 or so minutes. And I think Araoju's been doing pretty well, too. They're going to want to hope for Billy Forbes to do more in the second half. I haven't been too impressed with him. I know what a good player he can be. I know earlier in the season he had a great game against Reno, and he is both their top scorer and top assist leader. So I was expecting a little more from him tonight. But Reno have done a really good job of neutralizing that threat, not giving him a lot of space.
Final couple minutes of regulation here tonight in downtown Reno. Reno grabbing a 1-0 advantage on a goal from Luis Felipe in the 25th minute. Started on a corner kick from Chris Weehan. An all-out melee in front of the net, and Felipe able to put it past Restrepo. There he is again challenging at midfield. Maxi Rodriguez, who just checked in for Castillo, able to get away from him. Back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to get through seemingly everyone in the midfield and bowled over.
Yeah, Rodriguez got pressed there pretty hard a few times, but he dealt with every single time very well and was able to earn his team a foul there. Good job for just coming onto the field. Probably his first few touches of the game as well right there in that 30-second interchange. And Reno pressed him very, very hard.
So here's Araujo making his first start of the season, first meaningful playing time for San Antonio, and a big set-piece opportunity. With his right foot, gets it in the box, and Bersano calmly able to pull it down without much of a challenge. in a battle of what's supposed to be the top scoring team against the top defensive team. You know this Reno defense and Matt Bersano would like to be the ones to come away with the clean sheet tonight.
Oh, definitely. And I believe Matt Bersano is at 7 clean sheets himself. Is that right? Oh, or 6. So he's going to be trying to catch up with that Golden Glove record against Diego Restrepo. And a clean sheet would be huge for this Reno team.
Yeah, again, we talk a lot about this Reno offense, but this defense has been good too.
This defense has been very good, led by Jimmy Ockford, who's had a phenomenal season. Matt Bersano's had a very good season in goal himself, along with Brent Richards and Nick Von Niederhausen, Jordan Morrell, and Brenton Griffiths, of course, who's out injured tonight.
Lindo Mafeka taking a shot at that one. And Restrepo able to grab it. 5 minutes of stoppage time added here tonight, as McCarthy tries to get away from Felipe, knocked down from behind. He won't get a whistle. LaGrassa to Weehan. Up to Kelly. Kelly trying to center it over for Opano and almost had it. Antoine knocking down Restrepo, who wanted a whistle, and Opano doesn't quite agree with his assessment, I guess you could say.
No, he doesn't. That's a great, clever little early ball there from Dane Kelly with the outside of his right foot. And Opano's close to getting on the end of it there, but Restrepo does well to shield it, and probably is a foul. And the ref will always favor the goalkeeper. That's something that referees do to protect goalkeepers, is anytime a goalkeeper gets touched or even touches someone else, you'll see.
It looked like the contact may have been a little unnecessary, but he got away with it this time. Battleborn Brigade has been loud from the opening minute tonight behind Bersano right now. Many still on their feet, banging the drums, waving the flags. They've got to be very pleased with this first half result as Reno holds the 1-0 advantage, trying to add something here in stoppage time. Kelly trying to get a break with Opano. And back to goal. Restrepo, as you mentioned, 8 clean sheets coming in, won't add on to that total. He began the day tied with Tomas Gomez of Rochester, also with 8. Another chance here for Reno. Kelly trying to find Opano, gets tied up in the box and knocked away.
Yeah, some great quick passing there between Lindo Mafeka and Chris Weehan. And find Dane Kelly on that left-hand side, who turns provider again and puts in another dangerous cross, but San Antonio deal well with it. But we saw earlier Reno score a goal from a corner kick in the same spot, so we know they're dangerous from it.
Chris Weehan to serve it from the corner. Deflected out of play.
And he goes low towards that near post again. And San Antonio know it's coming, and they deal well with it.
Forbes able to knock it out. Right back to Weehan. No one there this time. Forbes clears it. Opano there to save it. Von Niederhausen, the last man in defense. Looks to send it forward. LaGrassa can't corral it. San Antonio may be a chance for a quick counter here before the end of the half. Tierpak into the box. Bersano, wise choice there to be aggressive and race up and slide on that ball.
Yeah, and that was an excellent ball there from Tierpak. Really dangerous. Looks like there was a tangle of legs there with Arrojo, but Bersano deals well with it.
Tierpak again. Trying to get around Weehan, but a whistle blown will give Reno possession. And may hear the whistle here for the first half go off in a matter of seconds. Clocking down to that 5 minutes of stoppage. Reno seems content to wait for that whistle. So they'll keep it in the back half of the field. And the first half is complete here tonight at Greater Nevada Fields. And it's Reno 1868 looking for some revenge against San Antonio, a team that beat them 4-0 back in April. Reno, the chance for 3 points here tonight if they can hang on for another 45 minutes. But a first half well done by Dane Kelly and company as they will take the lead into the locker room. We'll take a break here on our broadcast. We'll come back on the other side. A conversation with the man who scored Reno's goal, Luis Felipe Fernandez. That's coming up next. You're watching United Soccer League action on My21 TV.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Avoid a penalty. Look both ways when crossing the street. Drink responsibly and hold your child's hand. From the depths of the town, a new force awakens, making its way down the street, exiting at the base of Greater Nevada. You cannot miss him. He's mischievous, sly, but you can't live without him. Ladies and gentlemen, it's hot outside, so cool off with some H2O. Please welcome Reno 1868 FC's new mascot to the pitch. Here comes Truckee! Ladies and gentlemen, your new Reno 1868 FC mascot, there's Truckee!
Welcome back, everybody. Alex Margulies, broadcaster for Reno 1868, joined by Luis Felipe Fernandez Rodriguez, man of many names. Did I get that right?
Yeah, right.
Now, you're from Brazilian descent. Can you maybe do the shortage of just one name? Are you going to go maybe Felipe at some point?
Yeah, Luis is just fine.
Or just Luis?
Yeah,
right?
Luis.
Being from Brazil, it's just such great soccer culture there and so many amazing players. Who did you grow up kind of wanting to be like?
I grew up watching Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, these guys, Robinho. Yeah.
How proud are you to be from Brazil and represent that soccer community?
I'm very proud. They have, for me, the best soccer in the world. So I'm very proud to be Brazilian.
So you joined this team during the mid-season. What's your time been like so far here?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the team. The guys are cool. I've been doing well, training hard, having some good games, goals. It's important.
What was it like going from a place like Fort Lauderdale last year, coming out here to the West Coast? What are you enjoying so far about being out here?
Yeah, it's different. I can't say that it's better here or there. It's just different places, life, everything's different. But I like here. It's pretty good.
What kind of activities have you enjoyed doing out here so far?
Going to the lake, Tahoe, going to the river with friends, kind of thing.
Are you happy with what you've been able to accomplish here in your first season, and what kind of goals do you have moving forward?
Yeah, I'm happy here, doing good, making some goals, assists, playing well, team getting some victories. That's the most important thing for me.
Getting a chance to take on San Antonio, how badly do you guys want to show that you're capable of beating a team like that in the top of the table?
Yeah, we want to beat them so bad. We're excited for the match. Hopefully we get the 3 points.
How confident is this team that they can make the playoffs and make some noise here in the first season as a club?
Yeah, that's our goal, to make the playoffs. We're working hard for that. Hopefully we'll do it.
All right, awesome. Luis Felipe joining us here today on the halftime show. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
The USL has expanded its soccer reach this week, announcing 2 new expansion franchises. Birmingham, Alabama has been announced as the first expansion franchise to join the league in 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure on behalf of the USL to welcome Birmingham into the USL for the 2019 season.
Currently known as USL Birmingham, the franchise will announce their official name, crest, and venue at a later date. The team is set to build on the strong foundation of support built by local fans.
You know, Magic City Brigade, you guys have been amazing for us. We can't say thank you enough for your unwavering support. Without fans, we're not standing here. And so thank you guys. I really do appreciate that.
More information and advanced ticket sales can be found at uslbirmingham.com. Las Vegas will be the 3rd and final club to join the league for the 2018 season.
This is our team collectively that we are going to make into the best professional soccer team that we can. And I can't be more proud to be part of all of you and to bring professional soccer to Las Vegas.
The club will call Cashman Field in downtown Las Vegas home, and the name is up to the fans. Visit vegasprosoccer.com through Monday, August 28th to cast your vote. Las Vegas will join the league in 2018, and Birmingham, Alabama will begin play in the 2019 season. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Gone. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Fans, join us on Saturday, August 26th, as the match is presented by Reno Orthopedic Clinic. Reno 1868 FC takes on the Swope Park Rangers with the kickoff at 7:15 p.m. The first 1,868 fans
I didn't see it though. I was walking back. Welcome back inside Greater Nevada Fields, where we are getting ready for the second half between Reno 1868 and San Antonio in a showdown of two of the top teams in the Western Conference. Some excitement in the first half of this match. Also excitement just a few minutes ago as Reno 1868 unveiled their new mascots. Pretty exciting there. Check it out. His name is Truckee. Recognizing the nearby Truckee River that flows through downtown and connects the two large lakes here in the region, Lake Tahoe and Pyramid Lake. Not a bad look. What do you think, Colin?
Yeah, I'm just glad Reno 1868 have a mascot now.
Mascots are always entertaining, and it looks like another great one added to the folds here in the 775 to go along with Archie, the Sasquatch of the Sierra. Now we've got Truckee. Also, some fireworks in the first half of this match as Reno is able to jump out to a 1-0 lead on the top defensive club in the USL. This is a team that only allowed 11 goals this season, but Reno able to break through in the 25th minute. Let's take a look at those first half highlights. And for Reno early on, once again, it was the play of Matt LaGrassa that kind of set the tone in this match. Colin, a guy that just has a nose for the football, and it was regularly involved in that first half, going after balls in the middle of the field. Reno really controlling possession at midfield.
Yeah, San Antonio have seen a lot of possession today, but I think a lot of it has been in their own half, and anytime they try to cross over, Matt LaGrassa is there to win the ball. He's been everywhere today, making tackles, intercepting the ball, and initiating that counterattack as we see here.
Antoine Opino almost able to connect in the first half. Went wide of goal, and then finally in the 25th minute, Chris Weehan, the corner. San Antonio unable to clear, and a couple of opportunities. Luis Felipe able to put it in the back of the net past Diego Restrepo. Only the 9th goal he has allowed this season. Here's another look. And again, just a relentless effort from Reno's offense.
Yeah, and Diego Restrepo does really, really well on that initial save. It's an awkward ball. He doesn't see much of it, and Luis Felipe actually gets a little bit of a touch on it, but after a goal line scramble, he puts it away.
Rough collision towards the end of the first half as Rafa Castillo knocked out of the game by Luis Felipe, and then right before the end of the half, maybe one of the best chances for San Antonio on goal. Matt Bersano able to slide and make the play, and Bersano, if he can continue for another 45 minutes, in line for his 7th clean sheet of the season. All the talk about Diego Restrepo and this San Antonio defense, but it's been Reno's defense thus far that maybe has been the star of the match.
Yeah, and it's gone a little bit of opposite of what we predicted at the beginning of the game. San Antonio are controlling a lot of the ball, but Reno are the ones that are counterattacking really, really well. And they're trying to get behind that San Antonio defense, because that's Opino and Dan Kelly. They like to get behind the defense. They like to get one-on-one with the goalkeeper. San Antonio defend really deep when they don't have the ball, so the trick is to get them early.
Here comes Reno out onto the field. They will obviously switch sides, which means Reno will try and score in front of the Battle-Born Brigade, which always is a lot of fun here in this venue. And another great crowd here tonight all across Greater Nevada Field. You've got fans packed in on the grassy area. The grandstands largely full. I'm guessing maybe another 6,000 to 7,000 here tonight in attendance.
Yeah, I think news is spreading around this city that this team is one really worth watching, one where you can see a lot of goals, which if you're not that into soccer, it's hard to be into a lot of 0-0 games. People want to see goals, so it's something that's attracting people from all over the city and all over northern Nevada, really.
You know, Ian Russell, I was talking to him about the prolificness of this goal-scoring attack, and he expected his team to score goals and be very offensive, and that's the system and the style he wants to play, but he would have never expected 50 goals through the team's first 21 matches, and he said, you know what, I'm not sure if we could do this again because it's just been that special the way that this team has been able to find the back of the net.
Yeah, they've really caught this league by storm, scoring a lot of goals. They've been very, very impressive this inaugural season. And they'll be looking to score even more all the way up until playoffs and secure a top 4 spot.
A win here tonight would go a long way into securing one of those top 4 spots for Reno. They started in a 4th place tie along with Colorado Springs. They were losers tonight against Salt Lake. Swope Park also in action. They fought to a 1-1 draw with Orange County, giving them 40 points now on the season. A win by Reno tonight would give them 36. It would give them some cushion between 4 and 5, and it would give them a chance maybe to catch Swope Park, only then 4 points behind the Rangers.
Yeah, and Reno can breathe a sigh of relief there because those playoff spots were starting to look really tight. Just a week ago, there were only a few points between 4th and 12th, so to gain a little bit of a cushion there would go a long way to securing top 4 as the season ends.
Well, when we talked in our last broadcast about the stretch Reno is going to go into, playing 3 in a row in the Midwest and then come back here to play San Antonio and then the next road game in Sacramento. But these next 5 matches, back when it was going into these 5, would go a long way to deciding how this team's season would play out, as Lindo Mafeka getting in front of goal, Restrepo colliding with him and able to get the ball away, and a dangerous opportunity early here in the second half for Reno 1868.
Oh, wow, Restrepo reads that really well. He knows that Mafeka's trying to go around him there, and he's able to get a big palm on it. But that's the way Reno attack. They win the ball high up the field, and then they play their attackers really quickly.
Luis Felipe, off-balance left-footed shot and too high of goal. But again, Restrepo harassed very early on here, coming out of the gates of the second half.
And it looks like in the second half, San Antonio are going to have a switch in formation. We see Elizondo come in for Pekka, so a striker in for a holding mid. They're going to go for a 4-4-2. Elizondo's going to play just on the shoulder of Araujo, and they're going to try and get 2 strikers in the box for Turpak and Billy Forbes to feed.
Here comes San Antonio. There's Elizondo. Wide for Tierpak. Looking to center it. Punched away by Bersano. Von Niederhausen there to get out of harm's way and clear it forward for Opano. San Antonio trying to put something together here. Forbes. Headed by Ockford. Not out of trouble, though. Tierpak almost got a hand there. Was Richards, and a whistle blown just outside of the box. So set piece opportunity for San Antonio just outside the box. A dangerous situation here coming up.
Yeah, Tierpak gets a nice shot off here, and it deflects off of Brent Richards' hands. Clearly a handball. Looks like it might be inside the box. It's very close, right on that line. It could go either way.
Oh, big opportunity here for San Antonio. I think they're arguing that that was inside the box. You see there McCarthy as well as Araujo trying to plead their case. But perhaps Reno catching a little bit of a break here, but still, as I mentioned, very, very dangerous. as Araujo as well as Forbes will stand over it. Forbes trying to curl it into the corner, and he goes wide, and Reno dodges an early bullet.
Yeah, Forbes just tries to catch it quick right as the referee blows the whistle before Matt Bersano's set, but puts it wide there. Yeah, it's a dangerous opportunity for San Antonio. I think Brent Richards' handball was right on the line, which it's tough to give a penalty when it's right on the line. It needs to clearly be.
That's a good point. I think if you're a referee, you want to err on the side of not making it a penalty unless it's absolutely clear cut, especially in a situation like this, a 1-0 game, and you don't want to reward a penalty on something that's that borderline, right?
No, definitely not. And I think on the line, it's fair to put at just like on the line for the goal line, it wouldn't count as a goal. So I think it's the similar kind of thought there from the referee.
Greater Nevada Credit Union is the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields. Beautiful Saturday night in downtown Reno. Morrell will send that one well out of play. San Antonio continues to operate in Reno's half. Throw it into Elizondo. Kelly able to come up and win that one. Now Weehan pushing it towards midfield. Trying to spring Opado. Deflected off of Restrepo. Not out of trouble yet. Weehan. Hoping to center it backwards towards Kelly. As Reno very effectively on the counter there. Makes Restrepo work once again.
Yeah, that was really risky there from Restrepo. I'm not sure if I want to call it lucky or brilliant, because if Opano gets a touch past him, it's a clear goal. He's way off his line, and Opano's getting there first, but he's able to get that definite touch on it from Opano trying to push it around him. Real risky stuff, but really excellent that he does pull it off. This is a brilliant ball from Chris Weehan.
Well, really some examples here tonight of why Diego Restrepo has been arguably the best goalkeeper in the USL this year.
Yeah, he's really been great tonight. Even the goal, he made 2 saves before it did go in. He's made some good saves. He's done well off his line. Couple one-on-ones where he handled really well, as we saw with Mafeka earlier and then Opano just moments ago.
Another corner kick from Chris Weehan here in the 52nd minute. Von Niederhausen fends off Forbes, gets it back to Weehan. Looking to find Kelly there, but couldn't connect and out of bounds, and a turnover gives it back to Restrepo. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
An excellent tackle there from Jimmy Ockford to stop the galloping run there from Charles Elizondo. Once again, Reno wins the ball and tries to play Opano or Dane Kelly through.
Tierpak. Ooh, trying to make a nifty touch in there for Araujo. Not a bad thought there.
No. Tierpak's a very smart player. He's able to attack the space really well. He's able to make good runs off the ball. I've been really impressed with him tonight. I think he's been one of San Antonio's better players.
Goal kick from Bersano. San Antonio getting a little bit more continuity going towards goal in this half, and maybe the formation change having something to do with that. You were talking about how they've got kind of a 4-4-2 matching Reno's alignment now for the second half, and it's producing more opportunities.
Yeah, and I think this is more of a flat 4-4-2 with just 2 center mids and 2 wingers, where Reno plays in that diamond midfield where they don't really have wingers. They just have 4 midfielders that form a diamond around each other. But yeah, I think San Antonio in that first half, they came out with 3 center mids, and none of them were really attacking base. In the lineup, Rafa Castillo is the attacking mid, but he's kind of everywhere. So having someone like Elizondo who could pick up the ball between Matt LaGrossa and those 2 center backs and run with it has been allowing San Antonio to get up the field better.
San Antonio, very quick and aggressive here. It was knocked down to play by Richards. A quick corner put in by Forbes. Maxi Rodriguez taking a shot at it from deep outside the box. Bersano staying calm there, able to fall on the ball. Much more aggressive look from San Antonio here to start the second half. But with aggressiveness, maybe could play into Reno's favor if they can successfully counter. We almost saw twice in this half Reno being able to turn the field very quickly. Do you anticipate that that's kind of maybe more of their mindset here in the second half, if this is what San Antonio is going to give them on the offensive end?
Yeah, and that's something 1868 does, and they do very, very well, is they do turn the field very quickly. So if San Antonio loses the ball, they're going to have to be wary about Opino, Kelly, Mafeka, Weehan, all players who are really dangerous in transition.
Antoine Opino, once again, making things uncomfortable for Restrepo. Up to the challenge, gets it up to Tierpak. Nudam coming up, giving it over to Ojong. 20-year-old from Cameroon.
Well read there from Luis Felipe.
Here's Von Niederhausen coming up wide.
Oh, and Von Niederhausen sees that space in behind and tries to hit that early cross, but San Antonio deals with it really well. With the height differences between guys like Dane Kelly and Antoine Opino versus Ibiaga and McCarthy, you're going to want to hit it early before they get into the box, because a battle in the air between those two, San Antonio defenders will win every time. So smart play from Von Niederhausen to play it early and let Opino run in behind.
Greg Cochran with the throw in. Former second-round pick of Los Angeles from 2013. Had a couple of seasons in the MLS with the Galaxy as well as Chicago. One of the most veteran players on this team. Nunam up to Ojong, taken away. Opino trying to spring Kelly on the counterattack, but he finds the back of Stephen McCarthy.
Yeah, and I was surprised to see Pekka come out instead of Ojong. I think Ojong's been pretty poor tonight. He's been giving the ball away a lot, but I know that Pekka is just recently coming out of an injury, so that might be the case of why. But Ojong will want to take care of the ball more. He's been giving it away a lot tonight.
Vance Coors Light reminds you to celebrate every climb safely. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, great beer, great responsibility. Matt LaGrossa leads the way back to midfield, over to Kelly. Reno starting to bring some numbers forward. Both of their fullbacks coming up from the outside. Here's Richards. Back to LaGrossa.
Oh, excellent little shoulder drop from Mafeka to get away from pressure there from Rodriguez, excuse me.
Jordan Morel had a bit of a scare in the first half. Looked like maybe experiencing a little bit of whiplash, but he's been able to stay in the contest. Dangerous pass there, able to get it away from Kelly. Harassing Restrepo, who just barely gets it off, over to Nunam.
And Restrepo takes another risk there. For someone with so many clean sheets, he does take a lot of risks, but he always pulls them off, so you got to give him credit for that.
Oh, a hard takedown there. Weehan with a shoulder check from Ben Nunam. Our head referee, Malin Badawi, coming over for a conversation, and a yellow card is coming out.
Yeah, Noonan just barrels into Chris Weehan there. Chris Weehan's able to get a little touch around him, and clearly a yellow card for the aggression there from Noonan.
Second yellow of the night for San Antonio in this one.
And now Chris Tierpak gets one for dissent.
So the cards piling up here for the visiting team here tonight in downtown Reno. 1868 hoping to close out these final 30 minutes of regulation. 3 points would be huge for this club here tonight. To have a stretch where they go to Swope Park and get 3 points from them and then get 3 here at home against San Antonio, that would be a big lift heading into the final month and a half of the season.
Along with 3 points in the meantime against a playoff rival in Tulsa Roughnecks. Been a very good spell there for Reno 1868, responding to a draw that against Portland that shouldn't have been a draw really, with 28 shots, but Reno just couldn't find the net that night.
Well, and also an unfortunate night in Oklahoma City, which saw Reno play down a man for 60 minutes because of a red card that eventually was overturned the next day. A very controversial play in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, a red card may be able to be rescinded, but that 60 minutes with a man down can never be given back.
Another risky play from Restrepo from goal, and again, it pays off. Punches it through, gets it up to Ojong, who's trying to find Forbes sprinting down the sideline. Can't quite catch up to it, and a throw-in coming from Jimmy Ockford. And a lot of people around this program who saw that red card come out against Oklahoma City, there were a lot of frustrations here in the 7-7-5 from that match.
Oh, definitely, and the fact that it was a player who's only played once for 1868 all season, Fatai Alashi, who was just a couple of years ago runner-up for Rookie of the Year in MLS. He's a huge part of the San Jose Earthquakes team. 1868, we're only have him for one game.
Tierpak, good move there.
Excellent move from Tierpak.
Finds Nunam with a cross to Forbes, and Forbes will blast that one out of play. But again, we've talked about it. Chris Tierpak, probably the best player on the field for San Antonio tonight. He has been active. He has created a lot of chances, and it really has stood out from their side.
Definitely the best outfield player. He's not the type of player you expect to be so creative and so good on the dribble, but he's been able to get past players with some remarkable skill a couple times.
Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. San Antonio able to win it in the midfield that time. Poor control on the pass, though, and an easy goal kick coming now for Matt Bersano.
Chris Tierpak reminds me a little bit of the German Thomas Müller, who also makes very clever diagonal runs from the right wing and also can pull things out that you would never expect from looking at the guy. I'm a big fan of Chris Tierpak after tonight.
Weehan hoping to spring Opano that time, knocked away by McCarthy. But a throw-in coming for 1868 as Brent Richards will come forward. Richards able to find Weehan. Hoping to get somebody in the middle of the field. And a whistle blown as Felipe gets tied up. And quickly, San Antonio, seems like every time there's been a stop and play here in the second half, they have immediately put it right back in play.
Yeah, they're trying to keep this pressure on Reno. They've been able to play the ball quicker. They've been able to get the ball in Reno's half a lot more. And they're going to want to keep playing quickly.
It is worth noting San Antonio, they've only lost that one match. It was 1-0. You mentioned it was in Colorado Springs. They have never lost a match this year in which they have given up more than a 1-goal differential. That was a 1-0 defeat. Reno, if they can tack on and then hold on, could be the first team to do that, and that would be an impressive feat if Reno could pull it off. Felipe creating a chance here, trying to find Dane Kelly, but it was too strong as Restrepo comes up and grabs it. It's a San Antonio team that hasn't given up more than one goal very often this season, period. Richards keeps it in play. Over to Ockford. Crossfield for Felipe. And look at Openo. The motor just never stops.
No, he just harasses defenders all night long. Game in and game out. He's able to force so many turnovers with just his aggression in the press. And then he just runs at people. He just runs and runs and runs. I think he's so crucial to the way this 1868 team attack. And since he's been moved to striker role, he's been phenomenal.
Kelly takes a strike at it, deflected by Ibiaga. Trying to go over the top there for Tierpak. It was deflected by Richards right to Bersano. Good concentration there by Reno's goalkeeper not to have a lapse in focus there.
Yeah, that could have easily gone terribly wrong for Brent Richards and Matt Bersano there, but Bersano deals with it well. And Brent Richards is very confident in his goalkeeper to put a header like that back at him and know he'll deal with it well.
Throw in coming from Greg Cochran here as we get down to the final 25 minutes here in regulation. Felipe getting tied up there, and they'll blow a whistle against him, and a set piece to start things back up for San Antonio as their head coach Darren Powell shouts the orders here. Powell last year led the team to a 10, 12, and 8 mark. They barely missed out on the playoffs in the Western Conference. Obviously, much better results here in year number 2 for San Antonio in the United Soccer League. Big win there. Chance for the equalizer, knocked away by Richards.
Well done from Brent Richards there to see where that pass is going. He makes a huge interception. After a little bit of shaky defending there from Matt LaGrassa.
Reno quickly taking it past midfield and slowing down and allowing more bodies to come up. And now Mafeka happy just to send it back towards Bersano. That was a dangerous pass as he had to just keep it away from Billy Forbes.
Yeah, both goalkeepers have done really well dealing with tricky situations. Restrepo and Bersano.
4 yellow cards now for San Antonio, and that was an obvious one. Openo ready on the break, and he was just flat out tripped up. So we'll see how Reno regroups here now as once again aggressiveness by San Antonio results in a card. This time it was Maxi Rodriguez who was the offender. Reno going to go to a substitution. They'll go to the Jamaican Brian Brown as we approach the 68th minute, and it'll be a countryman swap as Dane Kelly heads to the bench for the rest of the night. And Brian Brown has been really good for Reno coming off the bench in these second halves, oftentimes being a catalyst for goals late to put some games away.
Definitely. He's gotten a fair few amount of assists after coming off the bench. He's someone, his hold-up play is so good, and he's surprisingly skillful on the ball. We saw against Tulsa, he took on a couple defenders before laying the ball off to Chris Weehan, and the same thing against LA Galaxy too. He's really skillful on the ball, along with being such a strong physical presence that can hold up the ball really well.
Reno is such a loaded front line with Kelly and Openo. Guy like Brian Brown on a lot of other teams probably is a starter in this league for many clubs.
Definitely. He's a very good striker, and he could play a key role in a lot of different teams. I think he does play a pretty key role here off the bench.
Substitutions presented by the Les Schwab Tire Center. Openo, back foot for Von Niederhausen. Well, shoving with Cochran, and Cochran will send it out of play. Not going to be a goal kick. Instead, the throw in from Reno 1868. There you see Brown trying to hold up play. He was knocked around, though. San Antonio able to clear. Here's Nunam off the foot of Weehan. Forbes getting more involved here in the second half, and Weehan there to clear it. You were talking about Forbes in the first half. Maybe felt like it was a little bit disappointing. He seems to be more harassing here in the second half.
Yeah, and it looks like he's trying his luck on the right wing now. He hasn't had much luck against Nick Von Niederhausen, so he's going to try against Brent Richards here on the right side. Maybe overload with Chris Tierpak as well.
Stolen away by Brian Brown. Brown gets past the keeper, and Brown will put it away. And 2-0 Reno.
And yet another unnecessary risk from Diego Restrepo there. Gives the ball away so cheaply to Brian Brown. Brian Brown does well to just knock it past him and have the easy tap in there.
Well, you said it. Restrepo has been rolling the dice time and time again, and finally tonight he comes up craps.
Well, it's just unbelievable to me that a keeper who takes so many risks on the ball is leading the league in clean sheets, and it's bound to bite him. And here it is, under really no pressure at all. He just gives the ball right to Brian Brown. Bizarre decision making there from the goalkeeper.
Well, and you almost felt like for Reno, they kept having opportunity after opportunity like that, where Restrepo was able to get out of trouble, and eventually the back was going to break.
Yeah, definitely, and I think he just took one too many risks there, and really just a bizarre decision. And Brian Brown, pretty much his first touch of the game, gets his goal.
Reno will make another substitution. Mark Pelosi here on loan from San Jose. He'll take over for a fellow Quakes player, and Lindo Mafeka, and also a substitution on the other side for San Antonio. There's Pelosi getting right in the mix with Tierpak, getting tied up and knocked down, and earns a foul.
Yeah, and Pelosi, who's coming off a string of really, really bad injuries. Someone with so much promise. He was the captain of the under-20 U.S. national team. He was in the Liverpool Academy with the reserves and looking like he was going to break into the first team. And then after a double leg fracture, it's been all downhill for him, unfortunately. But he's rehabbing. He's starting to look more fit, and he's ready to prove himself that he's ready and back at it. I know he had a run out against Eintracht Frankfurt when San Jose played them in a friendly. So I'm sure it's good for him to be back on the field again.
Here's Pelosi near that sideline, being tossed up with two players. Strong play again, and another whistle coming against San Antonio.
Yeah, and it looks like Tierpak's fouled Pelosi twice since Pelosi has come on.
Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields, here into the 73rd minute. And San Antonio right now in uncharted territory. This is a team that has not lost by a multi-goal margin. Again, they've only lost once all year, but from the opening kick of this one, I feel like Reno has been in control of this match.
Definitely, and San Antonio have had their moments, but Reno have been very good tonight.
Set piece from Weehan, serves it into the box. Headed away by Ojong. LaGrassa able to keep possession for 1868.
They handled the press there from Ajekwa really well. Fresh legs there from the San Antonio striker, but Reno deal with his sprinting at them.
Colin, I want to go back to that goal from Brian Brown. Something I thought about. He doesn't get that goal unless he's in position. And I feel like that's something Reno's forwards do so well. They put a lot of pressure on the opposing goalkeepers where they're going to be there if he makes a mistake. Brian Brown stayed involved in that play. He didn't just stop and retreat. He was actively aggressive and it rewarded himself with that opportunity. I know Restrepo made the mistake, but it doesn't happen unless Brian Brown puts forth that kind of effort.
Definitely. If Brian Brown doesn't press him, which Reno strikers have been doing all night long, and Brian Brown coming on the field no different, really charges at Restrepo and puts him under that pressure. Otherwise, Restrepo had time to make a decision. But he has to make a split-second decision, hits in one touch, and Brian Brown forces that mistake.
Poked away by Morrell as Forbes will go to the throw-in. Gets it into Nunam. McCarthy serves it into the box, headed away by Ockford. Reno trying to turn the field, but Ibianga is there. And again, look how quick those throw-ins are. Don't even wait.
Good touch there from Billy Forbes to get past Brent Richards.
Goal kick coming up for Matt Bersano. Want to remind you, the USL, one of the most prominent second division leagues in the entire world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. Mention Vegas and Fresno coming on board for the 2018 season. Also announced this week that Birmingham, Alabama will add a USL franchise for the 2019 season.
We'll also be seeing a USL franchise for Nashville, Tennessee as well, so the league is really growing a lot, which is nice to see for minor leagues.
I'm also excited to see this USL 3 league, which is going to be starting up in the next couple of years and help continuing to grow the minor league game of soccer, which really I think there's an opportunity to do that for the USL and the success they've had at this Tier 2 level to create a Tier 3 as well in a lot of cities across the country. I know they're scouting a lot of places to continue to grow the game at that Tier 3 level to give a lot of guys that maybe are still in college, fresh out of college, or maybe want to take that route of getting their development and play as a young athlete, and it's just going to continue to help the game of soccer grow more jobs, more opportunities, and it's only going to help the U.S. game.
Could you imagine if the United States, if every single mid-sized market in the United States had their own professional soccer team, how big it would be for the development of soccer in this country? It would be huge.
Well, think about minor league baseball. I mean, you've got each major league team probably, I think they have 6 affiliates. I mean, you're talking about close to 200 minor league teams across the country. I think the ability for growth, especially with this model of using a baseball-first facility and converting it into soccer, is opening more doors for more of these mid-sized markets to get the game of soccer in their communities and get it at a high level.
Oh, definitely. It will be huge for all these different cities to be able to develop players, produce talent, and really get fans of the game to go every week to go support their local team. I think the trajectory of soccer in this country right now is incredible.
Brian Brown on a run again, this time deflected by San Antonio. Antoine Openo going over to the sideline for the throw-in. Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com. Good look there at Openo, as well as head coach Ian Russell has got to be very pleased with his team's effort here tonight. 12 minutes of regulation, a little bit of stoppage time away from handing San Antonio their worst defeat of the year. Confidence continuing to grow week by week for this Reno team. It's been alive now for a couple of months, but I think you go and you beat Swope Park, you take care of business here at home, and if they can go on the road to Sacramento next and come away with some points there, this Reno team could really make a push for one of those top 3 spots here in this Western Conference. Hard to believe after the way the season started after the first 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, definitely. I think the fixture list in the beginning of the season didn't do Reno any favors. Having to play Monarchs in San Antonio so early in the season away from home definitely wasn't a good start. But this team is showing that they don't fear anybody. On their day, they can beat anyone that comes. And I'm really looking forward to the September 30th game against Real Monarchs, a team that's beaten them twice now. First time pretty convincingly, but the second time, the end of that game with Andrew Tarbell, the goalkeeper, having a shot off the crossbar to equalize.
Having 2 chances
Two
there.
chances. I think anyone would be scared to come out here to Greater Nevada Field, even that high-flying Real Monarchs team.
Collision there with Brian Brown, and the 5th yellow card of the night for San Antonio. As Openo will put it back into play. Here's Pelosi getting into the action. Quick touch pass with Openo. Antoine serves it in for Felipe. Von Niederhauser swings it over, trying to find Weehan. Almost let go by Restrepo. Lucky to hold on to it with a couple bodies right in front of his face. That would have been another dangerous mistake.
Yeah, I think his confidence is a little shot after that mistake for the second goal. Normally a routine catch for Diego Restrepo. He's made 5 or 6 of them today, and suddenly he's dropping it.
Von Niederhauser using his body to deflect that one out of bounds off the foot of Cochran. Ooh, dangerous chance there, and a whistle blown against Luis Felipe in the box as Elizondo taken down.
Yeah, and that's a great little exchange between Cochran and Elizondo earns that penalty for a chance to have this deficit. I think Elizondo has proved to be a catalyst in this team so far since coming on.
They'll give the opportunity to Billy Forbes, the 26-year-old from Turks and Caicos. Leads the team with 7 goals. Here he comes, and off the top of the crossbar, no good. And the clean sheet is preserved as the crossbar is working with Reno 1868 here tonight.
Oh, wow. You'd expect Billy Forbes to step up and put that away, but he just finds that crossbar, and that's just San Antonio's night tonight, summed up right there.
Von Niederhauser using his head to knock that one out of play, but a corner kick coming now for San Antonio. Openo able to get it away from Elizondo. No one at midfield, though, as that one will head out of bounds. Another sub coming in for 1868. Looks like Seth Kasipley set to enter play. And he'll take over for Chris Weehan. Another successful night for Chris. His corner kick led to Luis Felipe's goal back in the 25th minute of this match.
And they're going to want Seth Kasipley's calm demeanor on the ball. You know you can give it to him, and he won't lose it, which is important when defending a lead, because if you just knock it out and keep defending, you're just asking for pressure to be invited to you. So having someone like Seth Kasipli come in, he can pass the ball around, get it away from pressure, and Reno will be able to hold on to the ball, which I think is important for protecting a lead rather than bunkering down in your own box.
Sebastian Ibiaga sends it up top for McCarthy. Good pass there into the corner.
Great ball there to Cochran.
Into the box, and Bersano has to leap up and keep that one away from a couple of challengers. Elizondo as well as Forbes making a push at it, but Bersano again keeping that clean sheet alive.
Oh, Bersano does really well on that cross there. That's a tough one to deal with, especially for Matt Bersano, who's not the tallest goalkeeper in the world, but he leaps up and grabs that with confidence.
Here's Brown and a couple other players moving forward. Up to Mark Pelosi. Kasipli, the touch up to LaGrassa. Good ball movement here by Reno. Felipe looking to spring Opano. McCarthy with the interception. Couple more big matches coming up for Reno. They'll take on Sacramento 1 week from tonight at Bonnie Fields. Those two teams have split this season. Oxford with the clear this time. And then 2 weeks from tonight, right here, Swope Park coming in, and I can guarantee you the Rangers, like Reno here tonight, looking for a little bit of retribution after 1868 went into their house a couple weeks ago and handily beat them 4-1.
Yeah, definitely. And Swope Park Rangers, who were flying earlier in the season, winning game after game before they met Reno, that could be a big one. That could be the difference between third and fourth, potentially.
Reno with a man down at midfield. And it was Kasipli who caught some knee on Stephen McCarthy. Big couple weeks here for this 1868 club to give themselves a really good chance to make the playoffs here in their inaugural season. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about this 4 out of 5 game stretch on the road, capped off with next weekend's match in Sacramento, is going a long way to determining where they would sit, and all of a sudden they find themselves, if they can finish this one off here tonight, 7 points in front of the 8th place team. So a little more breathing room certainly than a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they're definitely showing that they deserve to be in playoffs come the end of the season. And they'll want a top 4. They know how strong they are at Greater Nevada Field. And they'll want that first playoff game to be on home soil.
Ojong taking a strike at it. Bersano takes it very calmly, straight into his chest. Amazing, too, and you start thinking about some of the draws. Tierpak.
Well done from Billy Forbes there. Excellent ability to get past Jordan Morell and find Chris Tierpak right there on top of the 6.
Start thinking about some of the draws that Reno's had this year. You think about that Colorado Springs game, that Portland game here a couple weeks ago, where Reno easily could find themselves in the top 3 already.
Yeah.
Not always going to go your way, but still in the mix right now, despite the fact that maybe there's 3 or 4 matches where Reno left some points on the table.
Yeah, and against Vancouver as well, both games against Vancouver and Colorado Springs, draws that they really feel like they should have won. You know, they didn't extend their lead and then let in a late goal.
I think there's no doubt after tonight, Reno has cemented themselves as one of the top 4 teams in this Western Conference. You beat Swope Park, you're going to beat San Antonio here at home. I think that really sends a message to the rest of this Western Conference that this is a team to be reckoned with and a team that very well could be positioned to make a run here in the Western Conference.
Without a doubt, teams are scared of Reno 1868. They know how lethal that attack is. They know it's hard to score against them. They know how much Reno play as a unit, both in attack and defense. They really have done such a great job this inaugural season. Very impressive.
Matt Bersano sticks his right foot into it. And 2 minutes of stoppage time added here tonight. San Antonio hoping to scrape something here and spoil Reno's clean sheet. Another trip up, another yellow. That is 6 yellow cards tonight for San Antonio. And another obvious one for our head referee, Malin Badawi.
Yeah, I think that's just a sign of frustration from San Antonio. Seth Kasipley puts his brilliant weighted ball right into Openo's path, and Openo runs through to it. Rather than let them get the counterattack, just take them out.
Up to Forbes, gets it into the box. Ojong battling with Ockford. He's able to clear it away. Then LaGrassa gets his foot on it. And finally, Openo sends it to midfield. Brian Brown, quick touch pass from Felipe. A tussle with no whistle. San Antonio tries to take one more stab at it before the final whistle blows. McCarthy feeds it down to Forbes. Into the box once again, pretty wide though, and tough to center that one up as it goes out of play. And this very may well take us down to that final whistle. And there it is. Reno 1868 continues to dominate their home field as they defeat San Antonio and hand them only their second loss of the year. And Reno 1868 continues to cement themselves as one of the top teams in the circuit with a 2-0 final score.
Yeah, an excellent, hard-fought victory here from Reno 1868. The 2 goals weren't the prettiest, but all that matters is the end of the night is that scoreline right there. Excellent 2-0 win from Reno.
Reno gets to 10 wins now on the year, 36 points, and they will pull ahead of Colorado Springs and move into 4th place all by themselves. Ian Russell has got to be a happy camper here tonight as he will send San Antonio packing, and they will have to be content to stay at 41 points. And now just a slim 1-point edge over Swope Park for second place in the West. Well, let's take a break, come back on the other side. We'll have some highlights from this one and final breakdown as Reno tops San Antonio 2-0. This is United Soccer League action on My21 TV. Well, this scene says it all. The Battle-Born Brigade, a party here tonight at Greater Nevada Field, and it will continue into the streets of downtown as 1868 cements themselves as one of the teams to beat in the Western Conference with a handed 2-0 win over San Antonio. Alongside Colin Tabor, Alex Margulies back with you here tonight, and Colin, Reno taking a 1-0 lead into halftime, and despite some chances there from San Antonio, it was Reno prevailing and adding a second goal in the second 45 minutes.
Yeah, and Diego Restrepo is going to be beating himself up for a while after that mistake. Really just gives the ball away there to make Reno have the 2-0 lead.
Take a look at the highlights from this one here tonight as Reno gets to their 10th win of the season. Lindo Mafeka right out of the gates in the second half, putting some pressure on Restrepo. He was able to get away with that one, but not very many others.
Yeah, he had a couple big saves in the beginning of the second half. That one from Lindo Mafeka and then later from Antoine Opino.
Reno doing well to take their licks from San Antonio. There were 6 yellow cards in this one. And eventually, again, it was Brian Brown, right place, right time. He was prepared as Restrepo made the mistake, and then he was able to beat him as Brown gets his second goal of the year, and good to see that guy rewarded.
Yeah, definitely. Brian Brown off the bench has been fantastic for Reno 1868 this past month or so, and he deserved that goal. But really just the mistake from Diego Restrepo, and that's something we were talking about, is how many risks he was taking tonight.
Chance for Brian Brown to celebrate with the Battle-Born Brigade. And a lot of fans going home happy here tonight. The youngsters getting an autograph. Russell Claybaugh, one of the backup goalkeepers out there, happy to lend his John Hancock. And so it goes. Reno able to get to 36 points and really taking care of business here over these last couple of weeks. I think if you would have asked Ian Russell, when you look at the 4 games they were going to have, 3 on the road and then coming back home and playing San Antonio, you get 9 points out of that, he's going to take that every time.
Yeah, and he's probably even arguing for more with the Fatai Alashi red card. Could have possibly been 10 or 12 points. So Ian Russell will be really happy with the way this team has responded to that draw against Portland Timbers, a draw that they were pretty disappointed with, seeing as Portland was the last place team in the league. And they brought a few youngsters with them because the first team had guys missing. So Reno responded really well, had a great hard-fought win tonight here against San Antonio, and they'll look forward and onward to securing that top 4 finish in the USL.
Reno going to be back here in 2 weeks to take on Swope Park, a club they beat 4-1, a team that is just in front of them in the standings. 1 week from tonight, on the road in Sacramento, a battle against their rival in a rivalry that is yet to be named but will be announced very shortly between Sacramento and Reno. That is going to be an exciting match for sure. So Reno prevails over San Antonio 2-0 here tonight in the biggest little city as Reno goes to 10-5-6, 36 points now on the season. San Antonio 11, now 2 losses and 8 draws. They will stay with 41 points. That's going to wrap up our broadcast here tonight. I want to thank our entire crew, from cameras to directors and everyone in between, for all of their hard work to get us on the airwaves here this evening. For my broadcast partner, Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies saying so long from downtown Reno. Once again, the 1868 prevail with a 2-0 final score. Thanks so much for watching United Soccer League action on My 21 TV. Have a great night, everybody.